What is going on, guys? This is AR Edwards, Vintage Flips, back at you guys with another one. I got today two incredible guests, one coming on right now. I know if you guys ain't been hearing about them, you ain't heard about them yet. It's the East Coast Flipper. Turn that down, sorry. I got the East Coast Flipper backstage, back in the building right now. So if you guys ain't heard of him, all his links and descriptions are down below in the bio of this video. Go check him out. But yeah, East Coast Flipper, what's going on, my guy?
What's up, Vintage Flips? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Having a good time, feeling great. Thanks for having me on your show.
Beautiful day out here. Beautiful day out here in Texas. And you're in New York, right?
I'm in Virginia. I was vacationed in New York for a little bit, having a good time out there. But I'm from Virginia, close to DC. Full-time reseller.
Full-time reseller, exactly. Nice. Yeah. So we're gonna wait. You see, we had some people in the chat. I don't know where they went. They disappeared, but we'll see if we get some more people that comes in here. So East Coast, tell us just a little bit about you, man. Like, how did you get your start, man? Like, in reselling and everything like that, brother.
Man, reselling. So, it really first started with I was like really interested in sneakers and like Funko Pops and shit like that. It was stuff that I was already interested in, and then I just realized that people were flipping it, like it had resale value. So I discovered the whole like sneaker culture, people flipping sneakers, and then Funko Pops were really hot like 4 or 5 years ago. They still are, but like they were flipping like crazy back then. So that's what got me into it, just flipping Funkos and flipping sneakers. But then when I discovered the world of thrifting and like all that, it was game over. You know?
Game over, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The flip thing, I try to tell people, like, it's so addicting once you get that first 2 or 3 flips, and it's it's brand new to you, and you like it's this is crazy, you know, like it's just like, wow, I bought this for $2-3, I'm flipping it for like 50, 60 to $100, you know. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So how old are you, Omar? If you don't mind me
I'm
asking,
27 man. Right now, turning 28 in October this year.
Nice.
I'm already having that quarter life crisis, you know. I'm like almost at 30, so I'm like, fuck. You know.
Yeah. So you started young then. This is a young thing,
man. Yeah, I mean, like, I really think about it. Like, I started when I was a kid, because like there was a video game. I really think that this video game plays a big part in like my life and like where I am now. There was this game called RuneScape. I used to play this game, and it had an actual economy in the game. So like people were buying the items, but they were paying real life money for them. You know what I'm saying? So like I was almost buying like almost like NFTs. Oh no, not like that too. Yeah. It's kind of like this was like, it was like people, the gold in the game was actually worth real life money. Like there was a black market. So I would like flip shit in the game, get a bunch of gold, and then sell it for real life cash. And I was doing that when I was like 15 years old. So that's that was like the first taste I ever had of like flipping or business or anything like that. So it was kind of, I was exposed at a young age. Yeah.
Nice, man. So yeah, it started for me. Obviously, I'm not as young as you, but you know, I probably look as young as you.
You do, honestly.
I'm not that young, man. I promise. But yeah, it didn't start for me until recently. And when I got into the trash and junk haul removal and people picking up people's stuff from their garages and just stuff from that they just really didn't need, or people moving from other states moving here. And then me and my brother just came up with a nice ass concept that was like, why don't we just bring the thrift to us, or have people pay us to go get this stuff that they don't really want? And then once that started happening, like we started finding out all the stuff that was just getting thrown away and coming to us, and it was like, this is crazy. Like
Right.
we couldn't even imagine like the stuff that we were getting. So that's what came to me, and that it just took off from there. That one flip, couple of I had a Johnny Cash vinyl album. That was one of my first flips. One of my first two flips
Right.
was some vinyl records, and I was like, I was hooked. I was hooked. I
Right.
was like, yo,
I bet,
this
man.
is
And
it,
that's
man.
basically free. You're not paying for that inventory, right? So it's basically like free, almost like free money. You're just the cost of gas and whatever you paid for the truck and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But
Plus what
that's
I was
pretty
getting
up.
paid. Plus what I was getting paid to pick it up. So
Right.
I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
right, right, right. They're paying you to pick up their free stuff. Right.
and I couldn't really lose. So even if if I got
Right.
a return, or if somebody said, oh yeah, you got
Even
to
if it
get
was
it or
all
whatever,
junk, you still win.
I still
You
win.
still
And
win.
that's what just
Right.
hooked me, man. I was like, yo, this is where it's at, man.
What do you think was the
Yeah, this is
craziest
where it's
thing you
at.
found? What was like one of the
Um,
your most memorable finds?
one of my memorable finds out of that stuff, man. I'm gonna have to say, and there was a VCR in the box, brand new, man. But a GE, it was a GE VCR,
Mm.
bro. It was a
They don't
GE
really make
VCR.
VCRs like that anymore.
They don't, and it
That was
was brand
probably
new in the box, bro. I couldn't believe the lady was
damn.
just like, yeah. And I even did like a Instagram live feed where I was like, look, look at this. Like this lady was telling us get rid of all this stuff. She's gonna pay us. And look, I already did the comps. I'm going in there looking at the comps, and this VCR is worth like 60. I think I sold it for $70, brand new in the box with the remote and everything. I was like, yo,
Nice.
this is crazy. But yeah, I
Right.
used to record. I used to record some of that stuff when I used to go out to these jobs. Towards the end, when I left and everything, um, when I left that job, I started recording it more so people could see the stuff that I just come into, man. Whether that was
Right.
clothes, whether that was, old, because that's where the name kind of vintage flips comes from. Because a lot of the stuff we were doing was vintage, man. It
Mm.
was old chairs, old, china ware, stuff like that, man. So yeah, it was crazy, man. It was really crazy.
That's
So
dope.
with with um, with you, East Coast, I know when I first got to start, when I first started looking at getting into all this hustle, I don't know how I ran into you, but you were definitely on my radar because you started like posting stories, and a lot of it was like it was free, like you were just giving away the knowledge for free and stuff, man. So tell us why, like what kind of went in between, like because you've been doing this for a while. So why do it the free route and not charge anybody for the stuff that you give out, man?
Right. Well, I mean, the main reason why I started like the whole Instagram and all that shit was basically just to document my journey. Like, I never came into this thinking like I'm gonna try to monetize it or I'm gonna try to make money
Yeah,
off this shit. Like, I was just trying to document like my whole life on
yeah,
this road to a million. So then at first it was really just kind of for selfish reasons. So I can go back and look at it one fucking 10 years from now because it'll all be recorded. But then I
yeah.
was like, okay,
Documents. Yeah,
people. And then it kind of became more like of a kind of like I guess like a motivational type of shit. Like I like to see people win. I like to help
yeah.
like like motivate others. You know what I'm saying? So if I can
Right.
do that just by sharing like videos or photos of like stuff that I'm doing anyways. So, might as well just take a little 30-second video and that might really help someone out, like someone who's maybe not feeling so well, feeling unmotivated. And that one video might just jumpstart their motivational train and get back on track, because at first I was just viewing the content. Like I was just like I had Twitter, I had Instagram for a minute, but like I just never posted anything. But I
Yeah.
was I was receiving that same type of motivation from the content that people were sharing. So I was like, okay, let me try, you know, first document my journey, but then also try to help
Hmm.
people along the way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. That's what it's about, man. Like, um, because I know when I first came in, there was some people that were like kind of on the, I guess, sort of charging for certain stuff, but
Right.
to me a lot of this stuff, like everybody says, um I'm gonna I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna learn from Goodwill. Like a lot of people say Goodwill is their university to eBay, because
Right.
You know, you can learn a lot in Goodwill, and then do your running your comps and all that. You can just learn a lot when it comes to Goodwill. And for me, it was a little different because I came into a lot of stuff that was free, and for the most part was paid for because they were paying me to come get it.
Right.
And so yeah, when I first started, man, it was yeah, it was kind of tricky. You got a lot of YouTubers out here. You got to be careful, because they give out certain information is just like it's not true, or
Right.
you got to run and bump your head to figure it out, and by that time you done lost money and stuff and time. And so yeah, man, definitely yeah, it's a tricky water out there, man, most definitely.
For sure.
uh, yeah. So what did you do at before you got into reselling, Omar?
Man, not much, bro. Not much. See,
Yeah.
what I did. So I was working at CVS. No, first I worked at Finish Line, and then I worked at CVS. But like, to be honest, a lot of my free time was going towards like social media. Like, I was I was addicted to social media because I grew up like I was in the generation that saw social media like blow up. Like, started with MySpace and then Facebook and then Twitter and
Yeah.
Instagram, and so Vine. Like, I had an account on all these platforms like when they were early as shit. And I was just, all my free time was just social media. And I never really realized what I was doing. Like,
Right.
I was just like creating different accounts and posting different content and like collaborating with different people. But like, I never realized that I was like building up like a social media, like almost like an empire. Like, I had like 6, 7 accounts that had like hella followers, and like people wanted to
Yeah.
pay me. People wanted, like, I had sponsors, like people dead ass paid me to promote their stuff, and it was crazy to me. Like, this stuff that I was doing in my free time like ended up being like my first business, almost like before the reselling and all that shit. It
It
was
was kind of like,
crazy.
yeah, these accounts, yeah, like social media, and like, yeah, everything that back then was kind of like just like is like new landing. It was like new space,
Right.
it was like new frontier, you know what I mean?
It was the wild
MySpace,
wild
and
west, basically.
it was
Like, but
it was the
and
wild
like
wild west.
it
Yeah.
was cool because like anyone could really, like anyone, it was like so early that no one really had control over, like, nowadays it's like there's like a group of like really big accounts that kind of like control a lot of the like the big influencer pages. Back then
Yeah.
it was just anyone. If you posted
Yeah.
good shit, you would get followers and you would become like a fucking influencer all of a sudden. you know
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can curse on the
Definitely.
show, right? Can I curse on here?
Yeah. Yeah. You're good. You're
Okay.
good. Hey,
All right,
one.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I never
Yeah.
really considered it like this to be like social media influencing. I was just having fun. And so it got to
Yeah.
the point where someone wanted to buy one of my accounts for like a few $1,000s. And I was like, hold up here, like, we got something here. So I was building my
Yeah.
accounts and I was selling them and I was flipping them, and it was great, man. That's what I did in my
Yeah.
before I did reselling. That's all I did, just social media all day.
Social media. It became,
Yeah,
because it in a way, yeah, because it is. It's the it'll be, it comes like, the whole thing is like, it's crazy, man. It's like the gold rush. Everybody's trying to cash in, trying to figure it out. Like, man, how can I make? Yeah, how can I get my influence up? And the first part of like Instagram, I felt like was just mostly influencers, like big influencers,
right.
big accounts, and now it's like, now it's kind of like transitioning now into more like, yeah, you're really niche. You got you're big. You got your big YouTubers over here that are kind of like carved it out, and or supposedly they carved it out for reselling and everything. And
Right.
but you you're into a little bit of everything. You do even retail arbitrage too, right? You go to these
Yeah.
clearances
Oh
and
yeah.
beating
Man,
them up, huh?
I
I
do.
mean,
I
I
do
feel
everything
you,
I
man.
can possibly do. Like, I do the retail arbitrage, the online arbitrage. Like, I'll go to estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, thrift shops, like anything. Like, I'll go to the some places where they have wholesale, like they get Amazon returns, and some of them are really trash. But then there's other places that are actually get good stuff, and they're willing to work with you on the price a little bit. So anything I can make a buck off or a nice
Yeah.
paycheck off,
And
I'm
if you guys
interested.
if you guys ain't following him, I'm telling you guys, this guy is killing
Oh,
it,
thank
man.
you,
Like,
man. Appreciate
and
it.
he's killing it with the retail. He's killing
Appreciate
it
it.
with just goodwill. He's put out, and it's great because like again, he's younger than me, and he's is just full of just knowledge, man. Going into these stores, flipping these
Appreciate it,
things,
man.
and it's crazy because you were into the cards. Because I was watching you, and I'm gonna talk to
Yeah.
Justin. Justin's gonna come on, and he's gonna talk a little bit about. Um, he'll talk a little bit about like because I when I reached out to him, it was in the Pokemon thing, and
Right.
he was going hard, man. It was
Yeah.
like that's how I eventually reached out to him. And you were into the Pokemon too, right? When it first came out, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
market
I'm
got
still.
hot, man.
It got super hot. It was at the point
Got
where like
hot.
you buy a graded card, and 3 months later it's worth like 4 times the price of what you paid for it. Like I had bought a card for $1,200 of some Charizard graded 9 by PSA, and it was worth like a couple months later it was like $7,000. It was absolutely insane. It was
Did you get rid
bananas.
of it?
I got rid of it. I got rid of it for around. It was like around 5,000. It was like 4.9. So it did.
Wow.
It started. It started to drop, man. Like you got to watch
Yeah.
this. Like you got to watch the price like every day because like overnight it can drop like 15%. It was like
Wow.
crypto.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still into it. Like I still have a lot of Pokemon stuff
Yeah. No,
still.
it hasn't died down. I think a lot of people
No,
like
it's
misconstrued it like it died. It did die down. The market did kind of because it got so saturated, man. It was like
yeah.
it was
It's.
crazy,
I
like you
mean,
said, like 4,000, dude. For it was a 99 edition, right? The with
right? Yeah,
99.
it was the base set, like the original Charizard. Yeah, it was.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I remember I had the newer edition of the Charizard, the hologram, and I ended
Mm-hmm.
up selling that one for like 250 non-graded raw. It was crazy, man. Like super crazy.
Hell yeah.
Um, yeah.
Um,
We got a couple
Sunny
of people
Las
now in the house,
Vegas.
man. Sonny, we got Sonny,
Yeah.
my man, Sonny Las Vegas in the
Any
house.
plans on dropping YouTube videos? Man, I really do like. I want to get so. What I'm kind of doing right now is I'm taking things slow, and I'm getting into TikTok right now just because like I feel like you just got to you have to like nowadays like TikTok is just like I'm not even really selling anything. So I'm just really just trying to just put my content that I have already on Instagram onto TikTok just to get more exposure, you know? But I'm definitely planning on doing YouTube for sure. Like doing a couple more videos this year. I think
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, we were talking about that with your YouTube channel and everything. Because I think you got
Yeah.
some fire content on Instagram, period, already. I mean, like
Thank you, man. It's
and it's just like it's kind. I know, because when I first started, that's what I was doing. I was going more into these like estate sales on Instagram Live, and people are just
yeah.
like, man, you need to put it out there, man. You need to put it on YouTube, bro. And I'm like, I am. I eventually, it's just a process, man. You know, like
I
editing and
yeah, I
it's,
gotta say, people really underestimate YouTube and how much time and effort actually goes. I gotta really give props to people who really do take YouTube seriously because it's
yeah,
not easy. Like it really takes time and effort to edit, and because like you'll record a whole video and be like, I don't like how that sound. Then you got to do the whole thing over, multiple takes, and then it's like you might put all this time into a video and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't get the numbers that you thought it would be. So it's a grind,
yeah.
and I respect that for
No, it
sure.
is,
It's
man.
like
It's man. When I first started, it was taking me. I took almost 8 hours, dude, to do a 30-minute, 25-minute clip, and it was just
right.
like.
Yep.
But it's a process, though. You know,
It is a
you're gonna bump your
process.
head. The first 2 or 3 videos are gonna be, it's gonna
Right.
be,
That's how
you
I'm not gonna
know,
lie, bro. I was like, yeah, the first couple videos, and I was just like, man, it just like the content was like the quality wasn't what up to my standards just because I feel like I
yeah,
set high standards for myself. So I was like, take a break from the YouTube, come back later when I'm more educated on how to do the stuff.
yeah. No, it definitely does, man. It's a learning curve, man. And I try to tell everybody, but I also try to encourage people to also do it because, I mean, why not, man? I mean, it's your
Yeah.
story. You're writing your own narrative. Why not try to do it? You know what I mean? Why not try to, put your story out there before somebody else gets it and runs with it? That's
Right.
what I say. And like you said before, like it's all about documentation too.
Right.
You want to be able to document. So, um, NFTs, guy. So I know you've been working on the
NFTs.
NFTs. You come
Yes,
with some
sir.
heavy, you come with some heavy knowledge, and I know you were talking about that in your stories on your Instagram about maybe dropping an NFT,
Yeah.
because you're already kind of in this space, man. So
Yes.
tell the viewers like what's your plans, man, for the future right here.
Right. So I got a couple things planned. I'm gonna definitely be dropping a couple of NFTs. So one of them is gonna be it's a called a POAP, and POAP it's basically like, think of it as like a participation badge. You know, like you go to an event or you join someone's, like, let's say my first ever YouTube live stream, if I ever, or first ever TikTok live stream, I can make a NFT so that everyone who joined me on my first ever live stream will get one of these NFTs to commemorate and show that you were there. You were you were in the first ever East Coast Flipper live stream, some shit like that. So I'm
Right.
planning on giving away a POAP. I'm not like gonna say exactly like how I'm gonna give it out, but I'm gonna be giving it out in some sort of way like that. It's gonna be like everyone who joins uh, a broadcast, or everyone who joins me on in a certain event. Maybe like I might even do a meetup in person or something like that, and everyone who comes and meets up will get a special NFT, something like that. And what I'm planning on doing is in the future, like I'm going to be doing certain giveaways and promotional events, and the only way to like join these events or giveaways is by having one of my NFTs.
Yeah.
So, and man, it's going to be
Dope.
100% free. Like I'm not trying to make money off it. I just really want, what I want is I want to expose people to the world of NFTs. A lot of people been watching me, but they're familiar with it, but they don't have any yet, you know?
Yeah.
So I want people's first NFTs to be my NFT. So in the future, when they eventually, if they dive deeper into the world of NFTs, they're going to remember, oh shit, my first ever one was from East Coast Flipper. So I just kind of want to have a memory. I want people to have a memory of that shit. I want it to be part of their, like, their lives, So that's what
Yeah.
I got
No,
planned.
most definitely, man. That's where it's at, man. Like we were talking behind stage about. I've been dibbling and dabbling in just crypto period from a couple of years now, and stocks and options. So I'm familiar
Right.
a little bit with the financing of a lot of that. Was a little skeptical at first with this because I was like, man, what is this? What is this? What is this rabbit hole, man? What is this?
Right.
Like what are we getting down into right here? Um, Watching Gary V, and watching him and watching other videos on NFT and stuff, and just like boom, man. Like I told you the other day, I was laying there in the bed. I'm like, I'm looking at this because I already downloaded Metaverse, so I'm on Metaverse. I've been
MetaMask,
watching you,
MetaMask,
MetaMask. I'm sorry, MetaMask.
MetaMask. Yeah.
Um, so I was like, oh, because I'm following you, and you talking about all the hottest drop from Barbie to,
Right.
what else? There was other ones you were talking.
Coachella.
Oh, the Coachella one.
Coachella. Yeah, it just
Wow.
dropped a couple of days ago, man. Yup.
So I'm like,
Yup.
yo, I'm like, I gotta find out because I'm dabbling now. So that's how it happened with me with crypto. Because at first it was like,
Right.
okay, I get the wallet, I download it, I get and then I'm like, okay, so what else do I need? And they're like, okay, get you the secure key instead of leaving it on an online wallet, like because you never know what's gonna happen to these platforms. So I go get that, and then it just took off. Like the whole thing just took off for me, and I'm like, all right, cool.
Right.
And it's the same with the NFT thing. It's like download MetaMask,
Yep.
and then dibble and dabble, close it for a little while, find out what's going on with it.
Yep.
Looking, researching more. Put more weeks into it, and now like it's to the point. So now I'm like, yeah, this is the future, guys. This
Right.
is the future, man.
For
this
real.
is
It's
this is like this is like Uber and Lyft for our generation. This is like,
right.
remember when they came out, everybody was like, so no more taxi cabs? Everybody could use your car to go, pick somebody up and get paid for it. Like this is what it is, guys. Like no
Yeah.
more middleman. That's it. It's over with. Like
Right.
the
And
art,
and on
I love it. It's because I'm an artist. I always say this. I'm an artist first, then I'm a YouTuber, but I'm a creator first. This is taking so much power back and owning it. It's incredible, guys. Like I can't even explain
yeah.
it right now. It's so crazy, man.
It really is putting power back into the people, like not like for everyone, like for artists, like musicians, people who are actually making the art, and like the royalties and like perpetuity and all this stuff. Like 10% of every sale goes to you, and it's just like it's crazy. So like right now it's really kind of about like the fancy pictures and the profile pictures, and that's kind of what
Yeah.
the hype is right now. And
Yeah.
the apes, everyone and their mom
The
has heard of the
apes.
apes now. So
The
once it
cat.
gets to that,
Yeah.
the apes and the cats and like all the crypto punks, and
Yeah.
but like the actual technology behind it is going to be around for a long time, and it's
The
going to be incorporated
blockchain.
into the
Yeah.
blockchain and smart contracts, and just being able to verify authenticity that
How
cannot
do
be
you
faked.
now? How do you feel now? Now, how do you feel about these things? The thing with the gas fees, man. Now, super high.
Yeah, gas fees. So I mean, it's like the way I think of it, it's kind of like a processing fee. It's like when you buy stuff, you pay tax. Like when you go to the store, you pay tax. You pay a credit card fee. When you sell stuff on eBay, they take 10%. So the way I see it, it's just a fee to play the game. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate because like
Yeah.
the most popular network is Ethereum, and that has the highest gas fees. So it's like, yeah, it's like, but I think it's gonna get a lot better in the future. There are some things you can do now to kind of like get past it. Like if you, I said this before on my story, if you buy an NFT during like the middle of the night, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., there's not as many people using the network, so there's less transactions, which means you're going to be paying less gas fees.
That's for
So
yeah. Yeah.
there's a couple tricks.
Little
Um,
loopholes, and yeah, you can kind of
yeah,
maneuver
but
and
the way I see it though, man, like what's the big dog right now might not be the big dog 5 years ago, 5 years from now. Like remember,
yeah.
Yahoo used to be the biggest search engine for the
Hmm.
longest time, but then Google came out of nowhere, and now no one uses Yahoo anymore. So another crypto could come and no one would want to use Ethereum anymore. It could definitely happen. I see a couple other cryptos that are looking nice, like Solana, shit like that. So
Solana, yeah,
yeah,
Solana, yeah, yeah. I even like Cardano too. Cardano's
Cardano,
nice
yeah,
too. Yeah,
Cardano is nice, man.
yeah. I
And
invested a little bit in Cardano.
someone in the chat mentioned about Dana White talking about doing metaverse events.
Hmm.
That's crazy. Like
Yeah, I
it's going
think that
mainstream so
was funny.
fast. Like
It
Dana
is, man.
White,
It's starting to pick up, man. Like it's really
it
starting to
is.
get to the point to where like a lot of people are taking notice. The NFL, the NBA. I think the NBA were doing it with the live picture frames of like certain
Right.
of like
Yep.
certain special highlights now.
Different certain
So
highlights are now NFTs and stuff, and like
NFTs,
it's crazy.
yeah,
Like
man.
who knows? Like
This is
one year the
like
Super Bowl might be only a metaverse.
yeah,
Like imagine, because
exactly.
think about it, they would sell more tickets because you can only sell as many tickets as you have seats in the arena.
Yeah,
But if it's in the metaverse, that's unlimited people. They could sell an infinite amount of tickets. It'd be
it's
crazy.
taking back ownership of what is yours, and
Right.
provided that it has value and you want to invest
Exactly.
in it, and that's what I see for this, man. This is gonna be a big, it's gonna be a big disruptor, and a lot of
For
people are
sure.
gonna catch the train late. And I hear the saying that like a majority of these projects are not gonna make it. That's a granted. If like I didn't grow up in the 2000s and everything, but just hearing the stories of like Amazon, like the pets.com, and the
Yeah.
versus the Amazons, the ones that did make it, a lot of them didn't make it, man. And I think
A
that
lot of them
right
didn't. Yep.
now there's a bunch of projects out there, and a lot of them are gonna make it, but there is gonna be some that do,
For
and
sure.
those are gonna be massive, man.
Those are going to be massive. The Amazons, the Googles, the
Yeah,
Apples. Yep.
yeah, they're gonna be
So,
those projects are gonna be massive, man. So I just tell everybody, just do your research. It's just because
right.
it's really so hard to explain it to people in a way that you want them to get it, and it's like you just got to do your research, man. It's like with anything that's new, just like when I was getting into stocks and options and in the money options and learning how to, it's a whole lingo, and it's a whole universe, man.
It's a
It's
whole
even the way
different
it is, man.
language, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is.
Um. So, man, we coming up on 30, man. That went by fast, man.
Right.
We got Justin backstage. So any last advice, man, that you would want to leave? I always try to give the
Man, all I want to say is like if you have something in your life that you're interested in, like even just a little bit, you got to take a risk, especially if you're young and you have a dream like, oh, I want to be a musician, I want to be a singer, I have a business. Like you gotta take a risk like right now, because you don't want to be 40, 50 years old and thinking like, damn, like what would have happened if I would have, been a full-time reseller, you know?
yeah,
So that's the way I see it. Like if you're young, take a risk now.
yeah.
Do it. Like if you're thinking about, oh, TikTok sounds cool, but I don't know if people would watch me. How do you know if you don't try? So
If
just
you don't try,
try new shit. Try new shit. Keep trying stuff until you find something that's you want to do for the rest of your life. That's it.
that's dope, man.
That's it.
That's
One thing
dope,
I gotta
man. That's
say
dope.
though, one thing I gotta say, guys, if you're interested, my NFT, you gotta download this app called POAP. It's a proof of attendance protocol. And my NFT is gonna be on here. All you need is MetaMask and the POAP app. It's for Android and iOS. And to get my NFT, you just have to be following me. That's it. Follow, and I'm gonna give more details on how to get that soon. And yeah, hope y'all enjoy that. I got some good things planned for that NFT. Like it's gonna have actual future utility. It's not just gonna be something that you're gonna have is it's not gonna have no purpose. I'm gonna give it purpose. So
Yeah.
look out for that coming soon.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
Dope, man. Hey, East Coast, Omar, I appreciate it, man. Like I tell all my guests, man, you're always fucking welcome here. You can always come back, chill with us, man. I appreciate you coming in here, blessing the game.
Yes,
Like I
sir.
said, you inspired me, young hustler inspired me to go out here and do my thing.
I
And
appreciate that, man.
it's blessings, brother. Real blessings,
For
man.
sure. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Show, brother. So we're gonna bring on my boy Justin.
What's up,
What's
AR?
going on, buddy? How you doing?
Good.
Oh, let me get him.
Don't worry, I've run StreamYards plenty times where I don't know what I'm doing sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, I always do this, man. Hey, Omar, I appreciate you, buddy. I know you're gonna hang around in the chat. You're gonna be in here and everything, brother. Dustin, not Justin, right?
Yes,
How you
sir.
doing, brother?
Good. How about you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great things, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. It's been a long time, brother.
Yeah.
We've been talking for a while, brother.
Yeah.
We've been talking for what, almost a year and a half now,
I think
off
so.
and
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
because I met you. You was on Gary V, one of Gary V's card channels. They were talking about cards. We were talking about Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I know you was on there, and you brought out a couple of cards, man. You had a stack, man. You and your wife, I think, you were talking
Yeah.
about.
Yep.
You had just piled into a bunch of Pokemon cards, man. So, um, how did that experience go? How did that end up for you?
Um, so I kept most of my stuff still.
Okay.
Basically, what I did was I pretty much bought and sold enough to break even, but still keep my like top cards. That way, it's like I kind of like got them for free in a way.
Nice.
Like I think
Yeah.
I pretty much spent like I think 11K total, and then made it all
Nice.
back by just
Yeah.
playing the game correctly by like buying things
Yeah.
when they were cheap and then reselling them. I still have like maybe like 20 cards that are still like my top ones that I'm gonna hold for a while. I've been thinking about selling them just because it's like I don't know. I just I just get tempted sometimes to just kind of sell
Yeah.
them, but
Yeah.
hopefully just holding on to them will
The
pay off in the
market, the
long run.
market, the market's kind of been like up and down. We had that big euphoria kind of happen
Yeah.
like a couple of months ago. I got off a few of mines. I had went in about like 2 grand on some, and I kind of got off some new additionals, not the older ones, but the new
Mhm.
additional ones. I kind of got off on those, and I'm setting some aside, just like you said. I actually want to see how the grading thing is going to be this year, because I'm thinking about maybe sending some in to get graded too. With a couple of cards that Gary V told me to get, and I ended up getting them too.
Nice.
I'm not going to say too much right now, but we'll get into that later.
Cool.
But I just want to let I want people to get to know you a little better. So why don't you just tell us a little bit more or less about what you do, and where you're from and everything, for everybody that doesn't know about you yet.
Cool. My name is Dustin. I'm from New Jersey, born and raised. I am a big BMX enthusiast, I guess you could say. Muay Thai enthusiast, car enthusiast, Seinfeld lover. I know I look really young, but I'm in my mid to late 30s now.
Oh, don't break the ladies' hearts, man.
And I work for a man you might have heard of named Gary V. Started off pretty much as a video editor. Been doing that for about 3.5 years. Now I'm his content strategy manager. So basically, we like all the footage that he films comes in, goes through me, and then I go through it, and I kind of distribute it out to like the appropriate platforms that they should go to.
Nice, man. Yeah. And man, that's crazy. Is that talking about YouTube with Omar right now, and you have a pretty big channel, man. I looked into it, and it's nice, man. Just
Thanks.
with
Yeah.
and you got a mixture. There's some BMXing in there. There's definitely a lot of BMXing in there,
Yeah.
but there's some vlogging in there, personal vlogging. And you've been on YouTube surprisingly a long time, man. Pretty long time, huh?
I mean, not like a super, like I think I started in 2016.
Yeah.
But at that time I felt like I was super late to the game, just because like a lot of my friends were already on there, and I was like, oh damn, like I hope I'm not, like I just did it anyway because I was like whatever. But yeah, like I used to work in IT and quit that job to pursue the YouTube thing. That was kind of like the original plan. Heard Gary on the radio, heard him on the radio, and I was like, I like this guy. And,
yeah.
Just that year, I just had I heard Gary on the radio, then I saw him on Facebook, then I saw this that Jim Carrey commencement speech, and just all these little signs that were kind of saying
affirmation.
I should do something I actually enjoy, not something I really, really don't enjoy. So I wouldn't recommend this for everyone, because everyone has to be self-aware and just know your own situations and stuff. But I just said, you know what, I'm just going to quit. I'm going to figure it out and try to do the YouTube thing. Realized pretty quickly that YouTube's a lot harder than I thought. I thought oh, anyone can do this. Oh, I could do this. I'll get 1 million subs in a year, no problem. And yeah, I was just very naive to that.
Yeah.
But since then, just been trying to do the vlogging thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of it. Not for anyone else, just me. I just have a hard time talking to myself like that. I just feel weird. And so props to anyone that can do that. 'Cause I'm just really bad at it. So then I started transitioning it more into how-to stuff, because once I started working for Gary, I realized that YouTube's really more of a search engine than a social media platform.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe I can do things that people will search for. So I just started doing things that I thought people that were learning just how to start BMX, they might want to learn how to do something very, very simple, just how to bunny hop or how to 180.
Yeah.
Just simple things that I think I was I always kind of wanted to be a teacher in a way.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it kind of worked out in that way where like I thought I could explain things pretty decently, and I'm like really analyzing things when I'm like riding my bike. So I
Yeah.
thought maybe I could help someone with that. And yeah, like I don't like like you. I mean, thank you for the thinking my channel is big, but I mean it's still very very small.
Yeah. In hindsight, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, it's
but it
exponentially. It's accomplishment, man. It's
yeah
definitely,
yeah
like you said, and it's definitely a feat to yeah, to grow your channel, man. Like you said, definitely don't recommend it as like a job kind of alternative.
yeah. Make it your
But
side hustle before you go all in, I would say.
definitely, definitely. But yeah, and then you have, I heard you had an interesting journey also to get on Vayner, right? You were kind of going through some things with you living in your car. I was reading a post where you was
Uh,
before you got with
not
Vayner and everything.
yeah, not living in my car. I was just living with my parents still when I was
Living,
like
yeah,
33.
yeah,
So I mean, I think nowadays that's kind of normal. Like even though this was
yeah,
only like whatever 5 years ago, but still like it just felt at the time where it was like a shame to do that. But I think now
yeah,
it's just way more normal, especially with like pandemic and everything. But
yeah,
yeah, I just applied to the job. Like I saw a Daily V where
hmm,
they put out an episode where they would just say, "Hey, we're looking for content creators," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I looked it up, or I signed up through the link in the description or whatever, and got rejected.
yeah,
Then kind of was like, all right, whatever. So then I think maybe a couple months later, I tried again because I think they put out another thing, maybe on like his Instagram or something like that.
yeah,
I think I got rejected again.
yeah,
um,
yeah. I heard.
then just out of nowhere, Andy Kranek at the time he was our the director at the time, like pretty much uh, leads Team Gary.
Yeah,
He just contacted me, said, "Hey, we'd like for you to come in, just have a little interview and stuff." I'm like, okay, cool. I went, met with him, met with some of the guys on Team Gary.
yeah,
Andy gave me like a homework assignment. Um, I did it, filled it, or I finished it, sent it back to him the next day, and then never heard from him again. And I was like, "Damn, I guess I suck," and I messed up that messed up that
yeah,
video. And then I was just like, whatever, I'll just keep doing my thing for now. Fast forward to maybe about 4 months after that, just called me out of the Andy again, called me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, are you still interested in the job?" I was like, "Yes." And he said, "Can you start tomorrow?" I'm like, yeah. So
yeah. Definitely.
then just went from there where like yeah, like I went in the next day, started editing, and just
Yeah,
worked my ass off because like that was really was like one of my dreams to just work for Gary.
yeah, yeah. I heard that was like a big thing. So I know it probably had to come to a shock kind of for you when you got that call. It was like, yeah, come on in, huh? It's just,
Yeah, yeah.
eh. And it was a go.
Like
It was like a big goal. It was a goal of yours to work for him, right?
yeah, like when I first quit that IT job, my ideal scenario was like I'd be the next Casey Neistat. Like that was kind of like what my thought process was
Okay.
like I could be a big YouTuber.
Yeah.
But then I thought, and maybe it was from watching Gary's videos at that time also, but I just thought if this YouTube thing doesn't work out, at least I'll learn how to edit and maybe I can be like the next D-Rock one day.
Yeah.
And that's so like technically Gary was my backup plan, even though that's a tough backup plan. But
Yeah.
it was plan B in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, it's a great goal to just even aim for and get, like
yeah. I got
even
very
as a
lucky though.
backup plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I like just like I think I did put myself in the right scenario to like kind of manifest it and all that. But at the same time, I'm I am very lucky because there's no way I could have predicted like Andy calling me
Yeah.
back one day, and I didn't do
Just a
anything. Like I
random.
didn't. Yeah, like
Yeah.
most people would have been smart and kept following up with him, like, "Hey, what's
Mhm.
going on?" I didn't do any of that because
Yeah.
I guess I kind of got a little bit depressed where like I just thought I sucked, and I was like, all right, I guess maybe 3 more years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Maybe 2 more
but
years.
yeah, so I got very lucky.
So how is it like working side by side with them like now? Is it like is it still kind of like the same like do you still kind of get that same feeling as like you had when you first started, or is it just like a the everyday thing now?
Um, yes and no, like both, because in the one hand, we're always doing something new, and you know how
Hmm.
Gary's always trying to adapt to whatever's happening, and
Yeah.
right, like for instance, NFTs now is like he's focused, super focused on VFriends,
Yeah.
and so it's like another new chapter and a new challenge. Um, but I've definitely gotten more comfortable being around him.
Hmm.
Where like maybe the first 2 years I was just so intimidated by him
Yeah.
that I just like was afraid to ask him anything
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
and it's not that he's mean or anything like that. It's just like just has this energy about him where he's like, I don't know what it is, like just some kind of energy about him where it just feels very intimidating.
Yeah.
Um, Even though he's like
But
super, super nice and everything, it's just like I think it's just his confidence is just very overwhelming to me.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot even in small doses, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I love being around him. Like I really do. Like it's
Yeah.
just it feels good to be around him. It makes me feel like a better person. But yeah, his just energy is not like his like wild energy. I just mean like something about his aura like just feels very
Yeah.
like intimidating to me. And I
Yeah.
just kind of
No, I
freeze up
can.
like when I talk to him.
No, I can imagine, man. I can only imagine. There, and then you do, and then I'm sure he's like, because I was hearing on one of your videos, you were saying that you edit most of his videos, and you kind of got him to get more into like memes and quick type of shorts and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
so I'm sure he's just there like watching, like, what are you doing? And then you offer this plan, and he's like, what's going on? Like,
No, like that's the thing with him. Like that's what I love about this job too. Like he just gives us a lot of freedom. Like
yeah.
he doesn't care about um how something looks, like as far as designs or anything, or like if we add
Hmm.
something weird. As long as it's not like making him look bad or like stupid or anything like that. But
Yeah.
um like he's totally fine with like
Super open to to just
yeah,
infinity idea, especially when it comes to creativity. Like that's what it
yeah,
sounds like.
yeah.
He's letting you be a super just creative person, which you are, man. Because I watch you on even on your Instagram stories, and I'm looking at your videos, and you're tough, man. And you
Thanks.
put out. It is not just like BMXing. Like you got Muay Thai on there. You're doing like little short funnies. You know. You know, humorous things about yourself, and I love that, man, because it's raw, it's original. It speaks to me when I see things like that. It speaks to, it speaks to the person you are. Definitely, like you can, laugh at yourself, and I've watched plenty of Gary Vee videos where he's just like, mix up your content, man. Don't be afraid to, just have random stuff on there. It's totally cool.
Yeah. I've
For sure, man.
definitely that took me a while to like kind of break that barrier where like I thought, oh, people are only following me because I do BMX stuff, so I have to keep posting BMX stuff only.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just started realizing like one, that's not true. Like I have a lot of just people in the Gary world that follow me, and
Yeah.
they don't seem very bothered by the BMX stuff. So I was like, okay, that means they're probably just okay with me in general. Cause
Yeah.
so it was just like a thing that I kind of had to like stop caring about so much about
Yeah.
like how, like if I lose one follower, like it's not going to be the end of the world kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So would you say that was it more YouTube in the beginning and then um Instagram came along, or did you like grow them simultaneously together at the same time?
Um, I'd say I had a better following, I guess, on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
but um, I also wasn't. I didn't utilize Instagram the correct way. Like which I think a lot of people do. Like they just post things that they like. I mean, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like that, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I always had like this weird guilt about like posting something like just to like flex on like whatever I'm doing
Yeah.
versus like trying to give some sort of value, whether that's
Value.
like entertainment in some form or like
Mm-hmm.
education. So I've been kind of trying to do more stuff like that now, but also just kind of doing both, like just posting the stuff that I want to share also. Um, but definitely not like I never like post a selfie because I just think that's kind of weird. No
Yeah.
offense to anyone that does. Like you guys can do that, whatever. It's cool. It's just for me, I just feel weird about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely tricky, man. And it's a jungle to navigate, man. You know, it's definitely some navigation. And I know for me and my channel, I'm new, and I like to do more or less certain videos on there. And it all started for me on Instagram. So I usually, well, in the beginning, that's all I was doing was just Instagram and putting all my resale content stuff on there. And now with YouTube, it's not as easy. I'm seeing it. You have to be consistent. You have to be. You just have to grow. Like you have to be consistent. You have to know what your base is watching you for. It's a different growth compared to Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
YouTube is massive, massive amount of work, man. It's
For
definitely
sure.
yeah. You have to come with the creativity. You definitely have to mix it up. Um, yeah, man. But I
I
mean,
mean, that's,
have
I would say like I kind of think of like YouTube as more of almost like an archive where I'm going to post whatever like I think is the best as far as like entertainment or education on my
mhm.
Instagram. And if people want to see more of that, they can always go to my YouTube to be like, oh, okay, cool. I want to see the full version of this. Of course, it's very, very difficult to get people to convert from Instagram onto YouTube, which is
Yeah, it is.
such a ridiculous thing when you think about it. Like you can't even get someone to just click one link. Like it's just so difficult. It's very, very
Yeah.
difficult.
And now
Um,
Instagram just barely implemented the new link in the story so that you can
yeah,
click, because that used to be like a thing where you had to have like over 100,000 followers or something like that, or ten
yeah. Well,
thousand
10,000,
followers.
10,000, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um,
yeah, it's tricky, man. It really is.
yeah.
Um,
I would say
I
like
wanted to
just
add.
keep doing that. I would say keep doing
Yeah,
both.
yeah, definitely, definitely. I wanted to ask you now a little bit about the Gary Friends and NFT. Are you invested in the Gary and Friends and NFT projects?
Um, I'm not. Well, like Gary gave me a V friend, so
Hmm.
I have one. um, it's
Nice.
a I just haven't done the research myself, like just not enough. Like I know basic the idea and everything. It's just I'm not deep in the Discord or anything like that.
Yeah.
And now like
Like,
recently I just been seeing a lot of scams and stuff and I'm like, oh God, like like
yeah.
people's entire wallets got like robbed just because like they clicked one little link and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, and I'm not trying to scare everyone. It's just I think everyone needs to kind of be very careful out there.
Cautious. Yeah. Very
Yeah. And
cautious.
just be aware of like what you're doing and who you're, I guess, going to support,
Yeah.
like
Going.
project
Yeah.
wise.
Going in for information. Yeah. Going in for information and stuff. Yeah. That's why I talked to Omar. He posts a lot of good informative videos too, and he's young in the space. I'm young in the space, man. You know, like I
We all
told him,
are.
I'm dibbling dabbling off of the meta phase metaverse, and it's closing it down and then going back to it because I'm like, yeah, I gotta set it up. I gotta get it going. But also now getting into the projects and the white papers and reading about it, it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but it's definitely fun, man. I mean, it's fun. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I think
are
it's
you?
worth
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, I think it's worth educating yourself on stuff like for
Yeah,
everybody. Um, I would say just watch a bunch of YouTube videos. Like that's literally what Gary did.
yeah,
He just started watching YouTube videos and kind of
yeah,
like just understood it. Um,
yeah. Definitely. We got a question from Jen. I don't know if you want to answer this. Which do you like better, YouTube or Instagram?
I guess it kind of depends on. Well, I need a little bit more specific on that as far as like, do I think what do I enjoy watching better or like
Yeah,
what do I think is smarter? Like I don't know. Like it kind of depends, but I would say Instagram only because that's where the attention is right now. Like for now. Like not
yeah,
to say that there's anything wrong with YouTube's attention. I think YouTube's just harder to like find small creators. You have to like be searching for things. So like, and there's definitely a value more of a value prop on YouTube
yeah.
versus
Definitely.
Instagram, where Instagram people just post whatever the hell they want and it will just do whatever the hell it wants. Algorithm wise, I think Instagram is a little better if you know how to play it right. Like their algorithm, I think, has kind of changed recently. Where before, when you were like you if you would use like every function possible on it on Instagram, like it would be like almost like rewarding you for doing that. Like let's say
Hmm.
you're the first one to do an IGTV when no one else was doing it, and then it would boost yours up. And now it's with Instagram Reels. But
Hmm.
I've noticed that the remix function um, isn't really helping boosting things, not in my opinion at least. And also
Yeah,
like how they're trying to be more like TikTok with audio, like trying to use like custom audio sounds and stuff like that. Where like
yeah,
before, where on TikTok, if you use a certain sound, it could help you kind of go viral. They're trying to do it on Instagram, but I don't think they figured it out yet. Because like I see some videos where it's like they just because they used a certain sound, like it did go viral. It did help their post, and this is like someone with maybe only 1,000 followers or something like that, where like they ended up
hmm,
getting a million views on it. And I'm pretty sure it's just because of they use that sound. So like it can be
yeah,
reward you in that way, but like I've used the same sound thinking, okay, let me see if it works, and it did nothing. So like,
yeah.
um,
It's kind of hit or miss.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
Instagram's still trying to figure it out,
yeah. They're still
but
trying to figure it out,
uh,
man. I think TikTok is making headways, man. I'm late to the game. I don't know if I'm ever gonna make one. Honestly, I just
oh, that's no, you have to. That's a big
yeah,
opportunity you're missing right there.
yeah. Maybe I might have to, man. I might have
It's
to get on.
and
I see a
yeah,
lot of
you
resellers now in
absolutely
my space that are getting on there, and
yeah, you absolutely they love that stuff. I mean, think about like all of Gary's
yeah,
viral TikToks. They were all about trash talk, like where I mean, positive and negative, where like people were like, I mean, I would say a lot of it negative just because people are doubting it. But
yeah,
like, I think that's where you can do pretty much a better job than we do by just like showing more details about like exactly how much things sold for or whatever. Like,
mm,
like we don't really do that too well, where like we actually show, okay, Gary bought this Hot Wheels car and this is
yeah,
exactly what it's sold for, but we don't do that as well. So I think like that's where you can do that, where you can like seriously be like, all right, I'm going to spend $100 today, and we're going to see how this goes, and then you just post everything, and you could do it.
yeah,
And then I think it's easier on TikTok because you don't have to show so much. You could just be like boom, 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 and it's like
Boom. Yeah.
and
Right to
then
the
if they
gusto. That.
yeah, and then you could always if they are like doubting it, like oh this guy's full of it, like this is BS, then you could just follow up that video with all your proof that you did sell it for that much and stuff. So it's just like it's easier to like build content off your
Yeah.
old content, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I heard the platform is really streamlined too, as far as like editing and all that. It's not like it's
It's
just super
much
simple.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
much easier to use than like because it's also like people don't care if the video quality looks terrible. Like
Yeah.
that's like it's really a special place where like it's really about the content. Like it's not
Yeah.
about how pretty it looks. I mean, granted, there are like photographers and videographer accounts out there that make things look super sick
Yeah. I've
and
seen those.
awesome,
Yeah.
but that's because that's what they're trying to do. Like it's
Yeah.
not because it's that's their content. If your content is just about like flipping items, then that's all they're going to care
Yeah.
about. They're not going to care if it looks like crap or anything. So
Yeah. Most
I'd,
definitely.
I'd
I'm gonna.
yeah, I'd
I'm
say like
definitely gonna.
please
I'm definitely
please
gonna
give
look
it a
into
shot.
it, man. I'm definitely
You
gonna
really
look into it. I see a lot of people. They do get a lot of slack for it on the comments, but the views are massive, man. I see the views. I'm like, wow, like they're really racking in views, man. Like
Yeah.
a lot. So yeah, I definitely need to try. I definitely need to dibble and dabble in and check it out. It really just shows you. For me, it shows you the younger generation and that attention span, and I guess they just love it, man, because it's short, it's sweet, like you said, it's to the punch, and people nowadays, it's like they, especially with the younger generation, that attention span is like 3 minutes, and if it's not there, I don't want it, I don't want to look at it.
I don't completely agree with that, because people post pretty like 3-minute videos on TikTok, and it does well. Like people engage with it. I think that's where storytelling. Like my biggest thing is storytelling.
Yeah,
You have to, if you could tell a story well, people will pay attention, and I think that's the biggest thing where people are like, oh, it has to be short. No, it doesn't have to be short. It's just you have to tell a good story, and that could
build it
be
up.
yeah, and that doesn't mean like you have to give great details. It's just about understanding the human psychology of like making someone wanting to like wonder, oh, what's about to happen next with this part of the story. So like a lot of people on TikTok will be like, they start their story essentially just talking, like they're just talking. That's all they're doing, and just starts off with like, oh, I just got punched in the face, and it's like, okay, why? Like, like that's what makes people think like, okay, why did you get punched in the face? And then they go into like a story, like they're just telling us a good story. Yeah,
a whole narrative. So, you just draw it up for them, and then
exactly,
boom, put it out there for them and lead it to them.
And that can come in different forms. Like sometimes I just see videos of someone following someone from like their phone, and all you see is like, okay, what's going on here? That's part of the story where like you make the viewer think they're curious about to see what's about to happen next. So like storytelling can be like done in so many different forms, but that's the key to everything, in my opinion. Like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, everything. It's just all about storytelling.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that, man. And I think I follow that motto with my channel. I talk about my goals, and I talk about, a couple of my older videos when I first started, it was just like me in my little apartment, my little kitchen, selling stuff. And, I made it, a mission to like lead people on and say, hey, look, one of my goals was to eventually move out of here, get a bigger storage. And that's what happened, So it's like a journey, and like, I even look back at like I was telling Omar right now, I just look back at my old stuff, and I'm like, dude, that's crazy. That just happened 6 months ago, and look, it's just like, but it's a draw to get people in to follow, so that you have that nice foundation to say, hey, look, if I wanted to put a TikTok or a snap or anything that was short that you can follow that too, and you can get into that storyline and
You
it's like
definitely need to you definitely need to post that story right there on TikTok. Like people
yeah,
eat that up on TikTok. They love hearing like from the bottom and now we're here type of stories. Like they love that stuff. I see it all the
definitely,
time.
definitely, man. Well, hey, look, man, it's 30 minutes went by, brother. Like that fast, like quick, man. It's been a blessing, man. You were one of my goals for 22 for 2022, man, and like to get you on, tell your story, tell people, about yourself, and I'm excited, man. I'm happy. I keep crossing off these goals, and again, I think it goes back to your point of affirmation. Um, just affirmation, man. That I'm grinding. I'm doing my thing, and sky's the limit, man.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. I'd love to
do you
answer
want?
Rosie's question here because just to give
Yeah,
some value to the audience. Do you
yeah.
think it's a good idea to post the same video on multiple platforms or do different content on each? It depends, I'd say. It depends on your content. For instance, if you post something funny on TikTok, you can post that on Instagram because funny is funny. But can you post that on LinkedIn? Probably not. If you're going to post something that's just super educational, you can post that on TikTok. But that's the thing. TikTok and Instagram, the difference between those two is really that TikTok, you can be discovered by anyone, and it could be to a certain niche. Like, let's say you did a video about Teslas, and you put like hashtag all these different Tesla hashtags. It will send that probably to people in the Tesla community, and it does it for you. Where on Instagram, your followers are going to be your main audience, and if they're not into that subject, it's probably going to flop, and it's going to be a little bit tougher to like really get an audience around that, unless of course your audience already is into that. Like if you have built an audience
Built
around
that up.
loving Teslas
Yeah,
or something, then
yeah.
that's different. So I would say you can't post the same video, but it can be a similar video, I would say.
Most definitely. No, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
the
what
context,
goes back.
like the context of like the platforms make a huge difference. Think about like when you see someone posting something from their YouTube video on their Instagram page, sometimes you're not like into watching it because you're just like, no, this is going to take too long. Forget it. I'm skipping this. Where on YouTube, when you commit to like when you're on YouTube and you're scrolling and you see a video that you're like, oh, I want to see what this is about, you click it, you just committed to watching that video. You're not going to be like, nah, fuck this. You're going to be like, I'm going to watch this and then see how it goes. If I like it, I'm
Right.
going to keep watching it. If I don't like it, then I'm going to be like, nope, I'm not watching this. Or on Instagram, it's just way easier for someone to be like, nope, no, thank you.
Like a Tinder date,
So
you just swiping
yeah,
right.
yeah, exactly like that. So
Yeah.
that's where the context of each platform, it does make a big difference. Like it sounds so silly. Like even when I first started making content for Gary, I was like, Facebook, Instagram, why are we making it different? Like that's stupid. It's the same video. But like then I just realized the audience is different. The people that are like when they're mentally committing to watching a video, it's so different than on Instagram. So yeah, that's just where I would say you have to really be smart about where you're putting the things out. And just something that I always do, I watch people. Like this is a little creepy, but like when I used to commute to work, I would watch people on their phones just to see how exactly they're looking at their feed on whatever platform it was.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, they're just going like this, and I'm like, man, you got like a half a second to get someone's attention. Like it's
Wow.
really, really tough. And we're
That's
like
tough, man. Real
and
life though.
yeah, the person matters too. Like this was probably someone maybe in their late 20s, so it's like they're doing that. Where I see like some older people, maybe like in their 40s, they're on Facebook. They're going a lot slower. They're giving things a lot more chance. So you have to really understand the psychology of like people
Mm.
and the audience that you're trying to get.
That
So that's
audience, right?
yeah,
Yeah. No, it goes into your analytics, and it goes into what are you retaining? What age? Yeah, gender, all that. Yeah.
yeah,
And I think that for the most part, YouTube give you a great, analytical type of viewpoint breakdown when you get into your dashboard, and you can see all that. You see your geographics, you see your genders. Yeah, you see it all, man. But yeah, that just it's raw information, man, raw knowledge. And I appreciate you, Dustin,
yeah.
again,
My
man.
pleasure.
Do you want to? I always leave my guests with the last words. Any last advice or words? Did you want to, give anybody out there on the replay and stuff?
Um, Honestly, I don't know. Like I have a lot going on in my mind, but
I bet.
I don't know. I would just say like
Just keep grinding, huh?
I think even
Keep pursuing, keep
something
pursuing what
different
you're
for
passionate.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something that I'm even working on is just try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Like that's what I always try to think about. Um, I think we're living in a very angry world right now, and we're not thinking about the other people enough. We're thinking about oh this guy's a jerk, like he's just being a jerk or something like that. Um, Trying to think more about like maybe they're just having a rough day, you know. So I'm going to give them the
Hmm.
benefit of the doubt. Um, so that's kind of the thing that I've been thinking about a lot. Just trying to give more people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, most definitely. You never know what somebody's going through. You never have. Sometimes you think somebody is going through a bad day or not having a good day, and or maybe they're having a good day and they're not even showing it. But just showing gratitude, being passionate, like you said, placing yourself in that other person's shoes, and it all matters, man. Especially nowadays, it's just so much going on, and we're just coming out of this crazy. I was just telling my girl this the other day. It's like it's crazy, almost like PTSD type thing, lockdown, where it's like you really gotta have to reprogram yourself into coming out of lockdown,
Yeah,
so say, and where it's before it was like, yeah, nothing like this has never happened before. So people had to literally be shut off and shut down from the whole entire world, and now you're coming back out, and you're reprogramming yourself, man. But hey, yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man.
yeah.
Um,
I'd
but I
say
appreciate you,
humans
Justin.
are resilient, so I
Yeah,
think we're adaptable.
most definitely, man. We're done here, man, and I appreciate you, brother. Like
Thank you.
you're always welcome back. You're always welcome to the show. Um, you're in here, man. We're locked in, and I appreciate you a lot, brother. For reals, for coming and blessing the chat. And yeah, brother, for reals, we're
Thank
here.
you.
So I appreciate everybody. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and hit that like button up there, and leave a comment if you guys like our guest today. And all the information for everybody is going to be down below in the description, so you can go check out Justin. You can check out Omar, East Coast Flippers. And until next time, guys, I'm gonna try to. These things have been very unprompt for me. So say it's crazy, man. I'm trying to get a schedule with these um interviews and stuff, but sometimes I overbook people. Sometimes it's just it's crazy chaotic. I still working on videos too, but I just want to show love to everybody. I want to show love to creators. This is a creative space for very interesting people. I just want to keep that creative space for people here. So, again, guys, if you like the video, hit the subscribe button. We're out till next time, guys. I appreciate you. One love.